Development for the Appalachian Sustainable Development Organization. She's originally from Chicago, but she's one of those people I say she got here as soon as she could, which was in 1994. She says she has fallen in love with the hardworking farm families and rugged landscape of this area of our country. And she's been working for Appalachian Sustainable Development since 2013, and she works to help craft collaborative regional economic development and food access strategies. She's responsible for publicity, individual donor development, fundraising, corporate investments, and capital campaign activities. Busy lady, in other words. I love this quote: "By leveraging the intersections between agriculture, economic development, community building, and health, she helps the organization network with a variety of partners for collective impact to propel the mission of Appalachian Sustainable Development's mission and bring financial resources and transformation to Central Appalachia." She has a bachelor's degree in marketing from Columbia and has worked in a for-profit marketing and advertising, sales and management roles for a variety of companies. She has 2 adult children and lives on a 15-acre farm in Washington County. Her topic, I forgot to get to Mike to send out, is living intentionally with and the 7th principle. Welcome, Sylvia.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay? So, even though I'm the director of development, I'm extremely nervous and I dread doing things like this. Not that you haven't made me feel very welcome, but I just get so anxious and so nervous. So I hope that I can present to you some really interesting information today. After my talk, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. And then, of course, I'll stick around for a few minutes after your service if you'd like to talk one-on-one. I was curious about how many people in this congregation know something about Appalachian Sustainable Development. Can you raise your hand if you've heard of us, know about us, taken a course with us, donated to us? Okay, that's awesome. Most of the time when I do talks in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, many people have not heard about ASD, even though we've been around since 1995. When I was getting ready for this talk, I called my dear friend Mark Finney, and I wanted to hear what he would suggest I present on. Because I'm a nervous ninny and my pits are sweating, I was like, Mark will not lead me astray. I had only planned to talk about ASD, the amazing organization that I represent, but Mark had another idea. He encouraged me to talk about myself and share a little bit about my personal story. What? That felt so scary to me. I didn't want to go there. It was really unsettling. Then my nervous research began. So I couldn't sleep. I was drinking a lot of wine over it. I was studying UU principles, doing all the things. And little did I know I'd see so many smiling faces. I dug deep into what I might share and how my path could be of interest to you. I reviewed your principles, and principle number 7 hit me like a ton of bricks. Its focus on respect for the independent web of all existence, of which we're all a part of, really was my story. I could own that, right? That principle was guiding me on my life journey, and I didn't even realize it. It's what brought me here today and what led me to Bristol in 1994. Back up to 1963, my mother was pregnant with me. She came from Germany and immigrated to Chicago. I was born in November of that year. After college life, I moved to this area with my husband. We first lived in Bluff City, Tennessee, in a small, dinky trailer in a holler in Hickory Tree. If anybody knows where that is, it's middle of nowhere. It was really beautiful, but out in the middle of nowhere, I had no family there. I had a baby on the way. It was extremely remote and really lonely sometimes. It was also kind of scary because I didn't know the community. There were KKK rallies. There were guys walking down the roads with jugs of what I thought was water. Probably not, probably moonshine. And people just were generally kind of scary in that little community. After about a year, we moved into town into a subdivision on the Tennessee side. I was happy there, but I yearned to live more intentionally with more deliberate opportunities to give back. If I was going to be 12 hours away from my people in Chicago, I was going to get involved with the community that I was in. Baby number 2 came. It was during that time that I did contract work for an organization called Highlands Bioproduce Network, if anybody remembers the name of that organization. I worked with local and regional farmers going out to their places, figuring out what they had to sell to local restaurants. So I was calling on restaurants like Scobie's in Kingsport, and I was also calling on the Troutdale in Bristol, which is now J. Frank's, and other restaurants. One day while I was driving in Washington County, Virginia, I spotted this small farmhouse with 15 acres, and I immediately decided, we're buying that farm. My husband didn't know it, but I had decided we're buying that farm. Something pulled me to that place, and I can't really put it into words. It was affordable. It offered us a lot of flat land that we could do something with. We had 2 little kids, and we moved onto the farm. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? On this farm, we have had cattle, we've had bees, and we've had larger and smaller vegetable gardens, mostly for our own home consumption. I didn't ever sell at a farmer's market or anything like that, but most of what we grew there was for our family. Living there has always been easy for me to be much more intentional, and we do things like composting and recycling and all the other important things that I think make us part of this collective community that we call Mother Earth, right? It was shortly after we moved there that I was invited to join the board of Appalachian Sustainable Development while Anthony Flacavento was the director. I was fascinated by the people that we served and the mission. Being on that board allowed me to give back to the community, the larger community, Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. Anthony left in 2009 and has not been involved with ASD since. My marriage ended a few years later. Must have been my bossiness about the farm, I don't know. In 2011, I approached ASD's current CEO, Kathleen Terry Baker, about giving me a job. I was newly divorcing, I had 2 little kids, and I needed to work. I said, what about fundraising and development? She said, there's no budget for you. I said, what if we can find some money and maybe 2 part-time people can work together to fundraise for ASD, because we're at the point where we really need to create deliberate strategy around supporting this amazing organization. At that time, I worked for 2 years with a woman by the name of Nicole Vachon Hanlon, and we job shared that role. I loved Nicole. Shortly after that, her and her husband moved out of the area. After Nicole left, I went back to Kathleen and I said, this is really more than part-time work. I need time to cultivate donors. I need time to talk to corporate partners. I need time to mine for fundraising support from local foundations and other national funders that would be interested in our work. I wasn't very interested in USDA funds or state funds. I was more interested in other money that would be left on the table. When I was hired, ASD was about a $1 million organization. Today, our organization has an annual budget of more than $8 million. That's really significant. We operate a food hub, which is in Duffield, Virginia. And in that food hub, we connect local farmers to markets that they want to access. So we provide training and technical support. We provide aggregation. So if that farmer has 17 boxes of cabbage and that farmer has 152 and that farmer has 531, we get all the stuff together. We get that onto semis that we own and box trucks, and we distribute up and down the Northeast coast. That's a significant piece of work where we are helping farmers stay on their farms and they are earning income. It's about $3 million annually today. Our work is steeped in sustainable agriculture and how we can use that work to impact economic development, workforce development, and how we can increase food access. We help local farmers reach markets through our food hub, as I mentioned. We bring young people into the work of farming. The average age of farmer in our footprint is about 59 years old, depending on where you read it. So we need to bring more farmers in to fill our pipeline. We fight food insecurity. We educate communities about opportunities in farming, and we promote regenerative agriculture through agroforestry. It's a huge field in the ag industry that's exploding, and it really fits in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia because of the terrain here. For farmers that have land that's like this, they might have native botanicals underneath the forest canopy, under the trees, that they can harvest sustainably and then sell maybe to supplement manufacturers or cosmetics manufacturers like Lush Cosmetics, right? So now the organization is on a cusp of something really brilliant and really amazing. We are building a 17.5-acre campus in Washington County, Virginia. It's an ag campus that will be a destination, and it's on that rectangular vertical board right there. That's the entire master site plan for the campus. It will be open to all people. We're very interested in economic diversity, but we're also interested in the diversity of people. So we have a very strong DEI commitment. We will welcome everyone onto our campus. People of all shapes and sizes will be invited to visit, and this campus has the power to transform our region. There'll be demonstration plots on the campus. There'll be greenhouses, production gardens, a satellite food hub, which is necessary to fight food insecurity. It's about 8,000 square feet. The food hub in Duffield is about 15,000 square feet. There'll be all kinds of opportunities for all kinds of folks to come and learn more about what we do and be more embraced with what we do as part of your 7th principle, because we're all in this together, right? I'm proud to be part of the work. I'm 60 years old, but I'm not getting ready to retire just yet. I've got a lot of work to do. Last September, we launched a $12 million capital campaign to build out this campus. The campaign is slated to run from last September to the end of 2025, which will be ASD's 30th anniversary. I think the timing couldn't be more perfect, right? In looking back, my desire to live intentionally and give back to my community has been realized by the work that I get to do, and I get paid for it. And it's been really supported and reinforced by the people that I serve. I go up to Buchanan and Tazewell County. I go to Hancock and Hawkins County on the Tennessee side, and I meet all kinds of folks. Rich folks, poor folks, folks with means, folks with no means, black, orange, white folks, all the things, right? I'm humbled and grateful that I get to do this work, and I really do believe that the university has laid these opportunities at my feet. So I thank you for your interest. I thank you for your time. I don't know if anybody has any questions, specific questions about ASD, but I would open the floor. I don't know, do I need to pass the microphone? But I hope you find this kind of work interesting because there's a place in it for each of us. We all eat food. We probably could all and would all like to participate in our community. So I invite you to, when the campus is open and ready for tours and consumers to come and the community to come and visit, please come and visit. I have my business cards out front with some other literature about ASD. If you're interested at all about anything that we do, please text me or email me or call me, and I would be happy to share information with you.
Thank you, Sylvia.
You're welcome.